Hello everyone, and welcome to Silent Confessions, Story of Infidelity. Here, we tell intense, forbidden stories filled with passion and desire. The kind of stories that make your heart race, that leave you wondering, what would I have done in her place? Today, I bring you an unbelievable confession, a story of unexpected love, hidden desires, and a passion that burns like wildfire. She never thought she'd fall again, but when she locked eyes with her daughter's best friend, well, fate had other plans. Stay until the end, because this story will keep you hooked. I never thought I'd find love again. Not at 52. Not after a failed marriage and years spent rebuilding my life piece by piece. But there she was, standing in front of me, like a mirage in the middle of a wedding celebration filled with beautiful, younger women. Her piercing blue eyes cut through the crowd like a blade, her confident smirk sending a shiver down my spine, igniting something inside me that I had long buried. Something raw, something primal, something dangerously irresistible. "Nina, stop daydreaming and help me with these flowers." Angela's voice, my best friend and the mother of the bride, snapped me back to reality. I had only agreed to be a bridesmaid because of her, but as I fumbled with the bouquets, I couldn't stop sneaking glances at the gorgeous stranger. She was laughing with the groomsmen, her golden hair catching the dim lights in a way that made my stomach tighten, and my thoughts wander to places they shouldn't. The way she tilted her head when she laughed, the teasing way she brushed her fingers over her lips. It was impossible to look away. "Who is she?" I whispered to Angela, trying to sound casual, though my heart pounded against my ribcage. "Oh, that's Lisa Morgan, my daughter's best friend." My breath caught in my throat. And then, fate decided to play its hand. "Nina, you'll be walking down the aisle with Lisa. Try not to trip over each other." Before I could protest, Lisa was beside me, flashing that playful, wicked smile. "Looks like we're partners in crime." Her voice was low, husky, and it sent a delicious warmth spreading through my body, making me tingle in places I had forgotten could feel alive. As we walked arm in arm, I became acutely aware of her touch, the warmth of her skin against mine, the subtle scent of vanilla and something darker, something intoxicating, something that made me want to pull her closer. My pulse was erratic, my mind racing, my body betraying every attempt at keeping my composure. And when she leaned in slightly, her lips just a breath away from my ear, I thought I might lose my balance. The ceremony was a blur, a hazy dream I barely remembered, and before I knew it, we were at the reception. Then, just as the music started, the sky opened up in a torrential downpour. Chaos ensued, but somehow, Lisa and I ended up huddled together under the same umbrella, our bodies pressed close, heat radiating between us. "Well, this is cozy," she murmured, her breath warm against my neck, sending a delicious shiver down my spine. Her fingers trailed along my wrist, slow, deliberate, making my skin erupt in goosebumps. I shivered, though it had nothing to do with the cold. The rest of the night was a game of stolen glances, teasing touches, and a tension so thick I could barely breathe. Then, just before the party ended, Lisa grabbed my hand, pulling me into a quiet corner, her grip firm, her gaze smoldering with intent. "You've been watching me all night," she said, her voice laced with mischief and something even darker, something hungrier. Should I be flattered? I swallowed hard. Before I could form a coherent thought, she closed the distance between us. Her lips were soft but demanding, her kiss searing through me like fire, her hands exploring my waist, my back, pulling me closer as my fingers tangled in her damp hair. My knees nearly buckled, my entire body igniting in ways I hadn't felt in years, maybe ever. When she pulled back, her eyes gleamed with something dangerous, something that made me ache in ways I shouldn't. "Tell me to stop, and I will." But I didn't. And when she kissed me again, deeper, slower, I let myself fall, my body pressed against hers, the rain soaking through my dress as her hands moved over me, fingers tracing my curves with an intimate familiarity that sent a wave of heat straight to my core. Her lips traveled from my mouth to my jawline, then lower, her breath hot against my collarbone as she murmured, "I've wanted this all night." I gasped as her fingers found the small of my back, pulling me closer still. Every nerve in my body came alive, electricity sparking where her touch lingered. She pressed me against the wall, her body flush against mine, her lips parting just enough to let out a teasing breath. Her fingers trailed down my spine, slowly, deliberately, as if savoring every second of contact. "You're breathtaking," she murmured, her voice thick with need as her lips traveled down my neck, her breath hot and teasing. I pulled her closer, desperate, aching. "Then don't stop!" And she didn't. Her fingers danced along my thigh, teasing, testing, until I could barely stand. The way she touched me was different, possessive, yet gentle, her lips against my skin, her hands mapping every curve of my body, unraveling me one touch at a time. My breath hitched as she whispered against my ear, "Tell me you want this." A shudder ran through me. "I do." Lisa's hands ventured lower, her touch setting my body on fire, her lips marking a slow, searing trail down my collarbone. She pressed me harder against the wall, our bodies moving in an electric rhythm, her breath mingling with mine. Every whispered word, every lingering caress sent a shockwave through me, drowning out the sound of the storm outside. The night stretched on, an intoxicating blend of heat and hunger. Clothes fell away, barriers crumbled, and the world beyond us ceased to exist. I traced the lines of her body with my lips, tasted the salt of her skin, memorized the way she shuddered beneath my touch. We explored each other with reckless abandon, giving in to every unspoken desire, every repressed craving. That night changed everything. What started as curiosity turned into something far more dangerous, far more consuming. Passion. Obsession. Love. And as dawn broke through the window, I knew there was no turning back. But love isn't always easy. And sometimes, the best things in life come with the biggest risks. If this story made your heart race, if you found yourself holding your breath, then don't forget to subscribe to Silent Confessions, Story of Infidelity. Here, the stories are never simple, never predictable, and certainly never innocent. Leave a like if you enjoyed this forbidden confession, and tell me in the comments, have you ever felt an attraction so intense, so uncontrollable, that it scared you? And remember, a new story awaits you every week. What will the next one be? Stay tuned and get ready to crave what you can't have. Until next time, lovers of the forbidden, fire.